All right, guys, we're not going to do a full mock draft or anything, but we are going to give some outlines for the draft. This is usually my favorite weekend of the year whenever we do this show, guys, because Phil breaks down every single prospect, including ones that I've never heard of. And Anthony's on the phones talking and getting the behind the scenes stuff. And usually I'm wasted. So awesome. Going in with this one, guys, Anthony, let me start with you first because we haven't gotten you to talk in a while. Who is the most intriguing team at this draft?
Maybe Chicago, like Anaheim. Like, do they pick a forward? Do they pick a defenseman? I mean, if you're talking intriguing also in the aspect of like, will they make some trades? Will they look to move? I mean, then that kind of expands things. But I am curious to see which direction Chicago goes. If they try to select a forward to kind of pair up Bedard, or they go with one of the talented defensemen that are available.
Phil, which team are you looking at?
Honestly, I don't have a team. I don't, because this draft is so wide open. If you look at the mocks, you could probably look at 10 different mocks and get 10 different picks for players outside of maybe I would say the top 3 to 5. And even within the top 3 to 5, after one, there's some dissension between pundits. I think this is an intriguing pick because San Jose is going to have their second pick at 14. Do they trade down? Do they try to get some more picks and prospects involved? The Rangers could be intriguing because they could trade up. Word is that they may be packaging Capo Caco with their 30th pick to move up. It just, there's a lot of different pieces going in a lot of different directions. I mean, I've seen the Rangers mocked with probably about like 6 different picks, at least, that I can think of off the top of my head. I've seen other teams with just a staggering amount of combinations of players just going in different directions. I've seen guys like Stian Solberg. Like, I've seen him mocked as high as 13 and as low as 31. And he probably projects to be something comparable maybe to a Radko Gudas. Plays that type of game. I don't think there's going to be much of an offensive upside there. But, I mean, I've seen players like Teddy Stiga all over the place. Tarek Parasak all over the place. Cole Eiserman has been a real interesting one because before the start of the season, he was touted as the best pure goal scorer in this draft and was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Scouts are supposedly souring on him, according to Bob McKenzie.
I think because of his defensive play.
Not just his defensive play, because people are thinking that he may be a one-dimensional type player. Like, you know how Alexander Ovechkin went from the most dynamic and exciting player that we've seen in God knows how long to a guy that just feeds off of one-timers in that left-hand circle? Like, it's – I mean, there's been discussions about Ivan Demidov. Like, I've seen some mocks have him as low as 5, when a lot of scouts say that he is probably, in terms of talent and upside, the second in the draft behind Celebrini. I mean, one thing's really for certain. Celebrini's going number 1. And then there's probably, usually in previous years, I could say from 4 to like 12, there's like a jumble of players in that range. And then from 12 to 21, or 13 to 21, there's another jumble of players that could all go in that range. And then from 22 to 32, there would be so on and so on all over the place. But there are even some players that are coming in from late second round that people think that could be first round draft picks. Like, for one example, for the Rangers, a lot of people are talking about Dean Letourneau, who's a 6'7" center that has a ton of talent. The issue that I have with him is that he's played at a lower level. He's played high school prep hockey. But you should know this of all people, the last time the Rangers took a gamble on a prep school player, he turned out to be a long-time player that now wears a letter for them.
Oh, Kreider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andover Prep.
Yeah, because I got at Brian Leach in my head. Then you said now where's the letter?
And
Leach at Boston College after the prep.
Yeah,
school, so.
Leach went to Boston College, and he played for Avon Oak Farms, and then went to Boston College, and then came into the NHL.
Well, Phil, I got to hold you up just for 1 second, only because you're going to lead into what the next question is, because you already took one of the guys I was going to talk about for the potential Rangers pick. I just want to say really quick, Anthony already took Chicago, because do they go with Demidov and then you have the 1-2 punch that you're open to look for with Bedard? Or, you know what? San Jose obviously, but I'll say New Jersey. New Jersey got their goaltender without giving up that 10th pick. Are they going to package that pick and try to move and get something else? Because they want to be back to competing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We'll see whether or not they'll do that. So, Phil, I did say it just now. Let me get right back to you, because you took it was Dean Letourneau, right? Yeah, Dean Letourneau. Yeah, that was one of the guys I was going to mention, but you already got there. So who should the Rangers be targeting at number 30? Actually, wait, before we do that, let's wait for Anthony to get back. Yeah, let's do the Rangers first. We'll get Anthony
to get back there.
All right, now he's back.
Yeah, I would say, all right, so other players that I've seen mocked to the Rangers, a pair of defensemen, Charlie Illich and EJ Emery. And EJ Emery, sometimes, like, many think that he kind of profiles like Keandre Miller a little bit. I think Emery is a little more polished defensively. I think Illich might be the better all-around defenseman. The only thing is that with these two, I wonder how high the offensive upside is. Emery didn't put up a goal for the U.S. National Development Team. He had 16 assists. Emery is a great skater. Excellent skater. Profiles more like a cross between like a Brady Shea and a Keandre Miller, something like that. Emery, people think, is closer to maybe Braden Schneider, and the comparisons are also there because he plays for the same team, the Brandon Wheat Kings. So scouts think that the Rangers could go back to the well and draft another Western Canadian boy. Another guy that I would, and I just want to make sure that I have the name and the pronunciation on this correct, because Kleber.
Okay.
Another one that I think. But the problem with him is that the skating is not as great as some of the others. He's tall and lanky at 6'5", but the skating may be a concern with him. Wings, Julius Bietnin. He's another one that I think that could end up being picked there. Big, powerful skater, power forward, works hard down low. But there's a few others I could go over, but I'll leave the floor to you guys.
Yeah, I'll give my Rangers guy, and then I'm going to go right down to Anthony, because I also have an Islanders guy right there. The one guy for the Rangers I was looking at was Cole Baudouin. Baudouin, yeah. It kind of falls. The Rangers have this philosophy of big centers. They're going to go with that. Anthony, who do you see the Islanders targeting?
In a lot of mocks I've seen Jet Lushanko go to the Islanders. Trevor Connolly. Those are the guys I think realistically are going to be in their range. I'm especially intrigued by Jet Lushanko, because he's apparently, from what I understand, he's a very good skater. He's explosive, and he can score goals. So for me, I think that's the guy I would lean towards. I don't think he's going to drop to the Islanders at 20. I'm not saying this, but I am curious in general about Cole Yzerman, because he's from about a year ago. He's dropped significantly. Now he's like mocked to go like in the teens, like 14, 15. And his deal is kind of similar to Cole Caulfield, a really good goal scorer, but for every reason, he's kind of dropped a little bit. And I think whoever gets him might have a gem on their hands, especially if you get him around 14, 15, 16. So that's a guy I'm really interested in seeing where he goes.
Phil, I'm just going to spit out my Islander guy real quick so I can get back to you on your thoughts on that. Because obviously, as Anthony mentioned, Trevor Connolly, but there was also Liam Greentree that I was looking at.
Liam Greentree could be a real good player. I mean, if the Islanders took that, I think Islander fans would be very, very happy with Liam Greentree.
After all, Philk, the line that says on one of the mocks that I had, and I took this from them, 18-year-old left-handed shot, can protect the puck, goes hard to the net, is very nimble, creative player for his size. That sounds like a New York Islander to me. There's only one bad piece of information I have to give. He's a Windsor Spitfire, and he'd be the second best player to ever wear a Windsor Spitfire jersey on the UBS ice. And of course, Anthony didn't hear the comment.
Yeah, so I mean, the NHL mock draft from Kimmelman and Mike Morreale, Kimmelman had Jet Lachenko, and then Morreale had Liam Greentree, and Greentree's got some size and some goal scoring capability, and I do like both of those picks for them. Connolly would be a good one. I wonder if they would take a defenseman, though. I really do. I wonder if, and I wonder, to me, I think the biggest fall potential in the draft is probably Yzerman. Like, would I be totally shocked if he fell to like 20s?
Wow.
No, I wouldn't. Wow. I really wouldn't. I think he will get picked beforehand, but if he falls into like the 20s or something like that, I would not be shocked. I also wouldn't be shocked if the Rangers made a trade up. If they made a trade up to take somebody, I think that that would not shock me at all. Another thing is this guy right here, Andrew Bacha. That's somebody that I've seen mocked to the Rangers. Dynamic player, great offensive instincts, high IQ, creativity off the charts. Could be a steal for a team in the second half of that first round.
Well, Phil, you know what? I guess that answers who's potentially the best bargain for you, but we're going to come back to that one in a second. Anthony, who are you hearing is the most NHL ready player?
I got one.
Well, at the combine, Demidov weighed in at over, I think he was like 6'4", close to 200 pounds. For a kid, he already almost has like a man's body. He's just going to fill out more as he gets older. Obviously, there's the whole Russia thing, but I was listening to NHL radio today, and now that Michkov is leaving,
I don't think you mean Demidov. Demidov's a smaller one. I think you're talking about either Saleyev.
Maybe. I thought it was Demidov, but
no, Demidov is
check that
smaller.
out. What I was saying was NHL radio saying today, now that with Michkov leaving and coming to North America earlier, it might change teams' thinking on drafting Russian players and not being so afraid to. Which if the case, I mean, a guy like Demidov may have more value, but every case is different. SKA for whatever reason just decided to let Michkov out, but I think that helps the Russians going forward.
Phil, who do you think is the most NHL ready guy?
It's a lot of people to me are talking about Anton Saleyev. I mean, he's 6'7" and he's over 200 pounds already. That's who I think Anthony was talking about. I think maybe there's just a little bit of confusion there between those two. But Saleyev is a 6'7" defenseman, over 200 pounds already, probably about 210 pounds. He has some incredible skating ability for his size. Now, I mean, people are going to take a look at him and think that he's going to be like Chris Pronger. I don't think he has that mean streak in him. He doesn't really play that way. Can that change with time? Can you beat that into somebody? Maybe, but to me, I think of Victor Hedman light. I think somebody who has incredible skating, incredible size, incredible puck moving skills, very good shot. I think I just saw that.
Man,
sad, man. That is sad.
I remember him very well.
Same with Toronto, on a line with Matson and Steve Thomas.
Yeah.
But he was Salev is a very good puck mover. I think he could come up there. I wonder if Artem Lashunov would be up sooner than later. I think there's going to be legitimate discussions about Macklin Celebrini staying behind and staying in college, because I don't know if they really want to throw him into the fire yet in San Jose, and everybody's always going to look at the number 1 overall pick and say, oh, well, he's ready. He's ready. He was great at BU this year. He was incredible. Won the Hobie Baker, true freshman winning it. And I don't know if he's going to stay back or not. I mean, it might actually benefit him to stay back a year, let that San Jose team in front of him get a little better, so the offense is not resting on his shoulders, and kind of just go about his business as developing into the player that he should be.
I would also give Will Smith some more playing time if that's the case, right?
I mean, he's going to come up. That's another thing. I mean, Will Smith and Celebrini would be basically shouldering a lot of the offense there with who else? Michael Granlund? I think Granlund might even be a UFA, but there's not a lot there in San Jose.
And the guy that I saw, we talked about him with you guys in the group chat, Consta Helenis. His coaches have been raving about him, and I'd be interested to see if he's going to be playing in the league sooner than later. Phil, I'll go right back to you quickly. Who is the biggest potential for a reach?
That's a tough one.
You can always have Anthony go first if that's the case.
No, I mean, I wonder if people take a look at Tarek Parasak's numbers and go higher for him. I just wonder how well his offense will translate at the next level. There's a couple other guys you could probably take a look at. Carter Yakimchuk, 30-goal defenseman, WHL. I wonder how he translates at the next level as well. I wonder if he gets picked a little higher. The guy that I think that might get picked a little higher than some would think, and I would really I really like his game a lot, and I think he's going to be a pure offensive dynamo from the back end, is probably Zane Parekh. A lot of mocks have him in the second half of the top 10, but he had 99 points as a defenseman in the OHL this year. Like, he is just incredible talent offensively. I could see him being picked in the top 5. I don't know if it'll happen, but that wouldn't shock me if a team took a chance on him going top 5. Other reaches, I wonder how much people value someone like Stian Solberg and his physical play. To me, I would have him in the later half of the first round, the end of the first round. This is an interesting tidbit here. New article from Johnson has Kakko and Trouba on his trade board. There's definitely word. Fast risers. Letourneau is a fast riser. Sam Dickinson is a very fast riser this year. Dickinson at the start of the year wasn't really on a ton of radars, but with Oliver Bunk going to the World Juniors, Dickinson took over the power play time in London, and his offensive numbers shot up because of it. But the question for me is, does Dickinson's offense translate at the next level? Because he could end up being sort of like a slightly lesser talented offensively Noah Hannafin, if you ask me. Like he plays, he's got size at 6'3". He's not going to be a massive defenseman, I don't think, once he fills out. I think he'll be at over 200 pounds, but he's a great skater, knows how to get body positioning on forwards. He's not overly physical, but doesn't shy away from it either. Zeev Boyum is somebody that I'm very high on too. I've seen comparisons in the names of Devon Taves. People have said Devon Taves as a comparable for him. I can see that. Very good two-way defenseman, solid at both ends, good skater, moves the puck very well, solid decision-making with the puck, great ice reads. I do like Boyum, and he's another one that projects around 5. I wonder if someone would go with Perek over him, though, with the upside on the offense.
Mine potentially. I Phil, just correct me if I'm wrong on this one. Maybe that might be Caden Lindstrom, because I back injuries scare me.
I don't know if that's necessarily a reach.
So in some mocks he's as high as like 5.
Yeah, 5 or 4.
I mean, I've seen him anywhere from 3 to 4. If somebody took him at 2, I wouldn't be shocked. But most mocks have him like 3 to 5, maybe even 6. I doubt Montreal passes up on him if he's available by the time Montreal picks. Because Montreal, over their last few years or so, has been trying to get away from that smaller build of a team and adding size and skill. They added Kirby Dach. Then they drafted Juraj Slafkovsky. Then I do think that they could end up taking Lindstrom. Yeah. You know, the Rangers like to reach, but I don't think they're going to reach. I think
your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.